Let's say you have good old S21 Ultra and it's itching you. It's itching you to switch to something newer. Perhaps the new Samsung S24 Ultra that came out more than a half a year ago and prices went down a bit. So you're thinking, okay, maybe I should try it. They're both good phones, but Samsung S24 Ultra must have better camera, right? Well, I here have few photo samples to show you. So let's go through them together. So file names are marked with 24 for S24 Ultra or 21 for S21 Ultra. You can see here. Okay, let's start at the beginning. In the beginning. Okay, sorry, for 1. So first we have morning shot scene with, I believe, main lens. You can see that S24 Ultra went with extremely low ISO of 12 and S21 Ultra still has respectable ISO of 50. Let's zoom in a bit to see details. And here on the first glance you can see that S24 Ultra is somewhat sharper, noise is more controlled and details are better, as well as colors are more pleasant to the eye and I would say more realistic to the reality. Let's go to zoom a bit. In second photo we can see that it is 2x crop from the main sensor, and again the results are the same. Details are better on S24 Ultra. It also has lower ISO value and colors and noise are better handled. Let's zoom in a bit more. Here is when we switch to the telephoto camera 3x. And even though it's probably the same sensor, you can see that newer algorithms and better CPU does produce better details, HDR, colors and everything. So you can see that in almost every aspect S24 Ultra is better, at least in those shots. Let's zoom in a bit further. So this is when we are talking about 5x zoom. At 5x zoom, Samsung S24 Ultra switches to the 5x lens and the S21 Ultra crops in the main lens, the 3x lens, and the result is kinda overwhelmingly better on S24 Ultra. Zoom in a bit more and you can see probably the same results. Here is where S21 Ultra switched to the 10x lens. However, the results are still better on S24 Ultra, especially color and contrast. I mean, this was great when it came out on S21 Ultra, but nowadays it's not so good. And lastly, let's check 30x zoom. And here again we have similar result expected, but I honestly kind of prefer S21 Ultra here, but there's no speculation about it. S24 Ultra does better. Okay, let's move along. Now let's take a look at night. Why is it number 30? I have no idea, but let's check it. So when we zoom out, you can clearly see that details are better preserved on S24 Ultra. Here I kind of chose them differently, so S24 Ultra is on the right side. You can see that noise control is much better. The sky is not destroyed as on S24 Ultra. When we zoom in a bit, it becomes even more apparent that S24 Ultra is much better in low light. Look at these harsh shadows, how well everything is controlled on S24 Ultra. And unfortunately S21 Ultra cannot rival it, not a bit. Okay, here we have indoor shot and 3x zoom here on both of them. S24 Ultra on the left. You can see that it has a bit more noise, but the details are also much better preserved here than on S21 Ultra. When we zoom in a bit further, then you can see extreme differences as a result, how much better S24 Ultra is. Okay, we have a few more shots here. So this is very hard shot to take for any phone because you have extreme colors and you need to have good dynamic range. And here you can see that actually S21 Ultra has better dynamic range in the background. But when we check the foreground, the details, the shadow control, noise, everything is better on S24 Ultra. A similar shot, but bit zoomed in. This is with 3x lens, and 3x lens, it's kind of similar here. I actually prefer colors on S21 Ultra. But when you look at the shadows, look how much details does S24 Ultra have in shadows. To be honest, I decided to make this video because I've read online some people wrote that it's not a big difference. It is big difference. Look at S24 Ultra here, and I mean we are talking about 10x shot here. S21 Ultra has real 10x lens, and S24 Ultra has cropped in and still has much better result. Okay, I will not show you these boring things. But just a second, I had one. Yeah, I got lost it. No problem. Okay, let's check the cat. S24 Ultra on the left, and this is 30x zoom, and again in 30x zoom, very similar quality in details, but shadow control and highlight control and contrast much better on S24 Ultra. So these are ultra wide shots. They are very harsh condition size shots because you shoot directly at the sun, and you can see how S21 Ultra kind of has this halo, and S24 has no such problems. Also, when you look at the details here and shadows, it's better on S24 Ultra, and we expected it to be better. The question is how much better it is, and the answer is much better. Okay, I'll show you a few people samples now. Just a second, 21, yeah. Okay, this is with main lens on both of them. On the right you have S24 Ultra, on the left S21 Ultra. When you zoom in, they are pretty similar and they both shoot good portrait shots, but when you zoom in, you can see how much better details, sharpness, focus is on S24 Ultra. No question about it. Better phone in portraits. I have few indoor shots. Very similar results, I would say here, until you take a look a bit at ceiling, and here you come to a realization that S24 Ultra is a bit noisier. But because it's a bit noisier, it also has much more details when you look at them. Look at the flowers here and here. Better, sharper results also on the background. Now let's check this guy out. Okay, S24 Ultra on the left, S21 Ultra on the right, and this is a portrait shot, and you can see here much worse details. And for the end, I will show you the 100 versus 200 megapixel shot. And this was surprising for me. It takes my PC a bit to load 300 megapixel details. But here, when we zoom out, you can see the colors are somewhat better on S24 Ultra. But when you zoom in on details, you can see the details are actually much more natural on S21 Ultra. So even though it has some chromatic distortions on the details, they do look much more natural. Let's say these leaves here. So I still think that 108 megapixel sensor is the best sensor in the phone, especially on Xiaomi 10 series. But when you look at on these phones, you can see that just shooting 200 megapixels is not better than 100 megapixels. To conclude, S24 Ultra is a better phone in camera's apartment. It is better in almost any condition, and if you think your S21 Ultra is better camera than S24 Ultra, you are wrong. Okay, these are the facts I show you. I didn't show you something that I didn't try for myself. So yeah, so this was just a quick video to show you that, and see you in the next one.